Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting video. My life mission is to help you level up in all important areas of life. In this video, we're going to focus on helping you level up in money and business. So today I got something really cool. I sat down here with a cool company that has a newly launched product, and I helped them set up their ads for Facebook and Instagram completely from scratch. And we share the screen. I show you every single step of the process. I have launched a course on Udemy, which is an advertising course for Facebook and Instagram ads. Udemy is the biggest educational platform in the world. And the video that I'm sharing with you, there's a real life implementation, and the course is all the theory and all the projects and all the other important stuff that you need to know. So if you want to get the course, check out the link in the description. There's a link directly to the course. There's a big discount. Go to Udemy. And don't worry, there's a 30-day money back guarantee from Udemy. So if you don't like it, get a refund, no questions asked. But I'm confident that you are going to love it. All right, I hope you enjoy. Let's dive into the video. Ladies and gentlemen, hello. In this video, we're going to do an ad review workshop for Lauren and Lydia from the Natural Nipple. Do you want to give us like a brief one-liner intro of the company, the product, and why we're here?
Yeah, thank you, Darius. I'm Lauren, and I'm the founder of the Natural Nipple, and it's basically the first biomimicked bottle. So it's made more like a breast in terms of shape, feel, and flow. And the idea is you can seamlessly transition if you have to go back to work, or if you're ever a dad, want to feed. You have some autonomy in that process, and you don't have to compromise between the best parent or the best professional you want to be, because breast milk is important. It came from my research. So my background, I'm a primary care provider, and my research was on the microbiome of preterm infants. And I just wanted to give parents and the next generation the easiest way to make health possible at the start of life. But coming from a clinical research background, we now need the marketing brains. And Lydia has joined us with an operational background, and we're so excited. You want to give a quick introduction, Lydia?
Yeah, I'm excited to be a part of the Natural Nipple. I have had the opportunity to work in D2C and promote digital advertising. So this is really fun for me to do this workshop.
Basically, once you have the data, it's kind of meaningless unless you can reach the user with an innovative solution. So that's what we're going to learn in this 90-day experiment. Just basically, we've pulled some testimonials, we've done some voiceovers, and we're starting from scratch to see what lands.
Yeah, let's see what we can do.
Yeah.
So in terms of the stage of the project, you guys have launched an MVP, or you have the product out. It's available for purchase.
Yes.
The website is up and running, e-commerce is running, and we have set up the Facebook ads platform and the manager, and all of that is good to go. So now it's just actual implementation of the campaigns.
Yes.
Very cool. So what do you want to start with? Because you have some ads that you wanted me to take a look at. Is that the best place to start, or do you want to dive into the ads manager? Because you also have some questions there.
Lydia, if you can screen share ads manager, you can give a really quick briefing basically to the audience of what we've done.
Lydia, can you go to the ads manager? If you go on the left side of that account, click on all tools. And then on the, ad manager, there you go.
It's actually good that you don't have controls. You have to verbalize step by step.
Yes, exactly.
Well, good. I purposely wanted to go all the way out to show everyone how to go all the way in. Up here, we have campaigns broken down. So let me go to Lauren's. And so actually all the campaigns we ran to date have been under Lauren's account. So we wanted to, for this purpose, starting at the 90 days, is to really run it under the Natural Nipple and keep it separate from her other businesses and campaigns.
Perfect. Okay.
This is really a fresh start.
Yeah, so it's good to start from the beginning. Yeah, so you can close the pop-up. It says about the payment method, so we'll update it afterwards off camera. But I guess we can start with creating the first campaign. The reviewing the actual ads is the very last step. So we can start from the beginning. So if you want to just go ahead and click on create, and we'll get the first campaigns going.
This is so exciting.
Okay.
And the meta has changed a lot. I mean, I ran ads up to 2020 and hadn't ran any since then. And so this has been really interesting to go back through and see all these new features that are available.
Yeah, there's been, I mean, the fundamentals are the same, but there has been a lot of updates. Yeah, in the last couple of years that I've been looking at the ads as well. So here at the beginning, the first decision we need to make is on the campaign objective, which is what we're trying to achieve over here. And you have like a very obvious direct objective of actually getting the e-commerce sales going. So I think the easiest way, go ahead and start with the sales. One thing to note is that on your website, you already implemented the pixel. And so we can track the actual sales of the e-commerce, and all of that should already be hooked up.
Is that hooked up, Lydia?
It is, but at the end of this, for the purpose of just making sure we do an end-to-end check, I would like to audit what we have in place that was set by our previous team.
Do you want to, would that be helpful for the audience to go into Shopify and show where we load Pixel?
I don't think we need to do that for the purpose of this video. Okay. It's also pretty straightforward. Like you just copy the pixel from Facebook and then you drop it in, and then Shopify is pretty straightforward. So in here, I want to go ahead and create the manual sales campaign. I know there's like the automated part, which might be easy if you are just starting, but if we do it manually, then we can have full control over everything. Okay, so from the top, the campaign name, we can just keep that default. On the special categories, you're not under any, so you can, if you click on the special categories, we don't declare any. There's none of that is for you, right? Yeah. Okay. Buying type, auction, that is all good. That just means that we're going to bid, let's say, $5 per purchase, and we're going to compete with the other companies on getting a purchase in. Campaign objective is sales. We finished that, and catalog is we're going to keep that off right now. That's an extra option to we're going to keep it as simple as possible. We are not going to run A/B test in this particular one, but that's something to do maybe in the future to have several different campaigns. And then also, we're not going to do the advantage campaign budget. So all of these are fairly new features, but we'll just go ahead and.
Can I ask a question about A/B test? Is it because right now we want to just we want to look at very similar ads and just get an idea of what copy is doing well? And then an A/B test would be like, okay, once we have an idea of copy, image, then we can compare them.
So that's a very good question. So A/B test, in theory, should be able to allow you to compare everything, whether it's copy or ad set or targeting or creative or whatever that is. From my experience, I've actually gotten better results from just like creating two identical campaigns and like changing one variable in one and then running both of them
at the same time.
So that's technically an A/B test. It's just not doing it through like the official Facebook platform.
And just in terms of marketing speak, a Z test is doing exactly that, just more campaigns.
Yeah. So I just use the wording A/B test, but you could have several different variables.
Got it.
One thing to note is that if you run an A/B test, then Facebook might, and you have a fairly small daily cap. So let's say like you only spend, I don't know, $20 a day, but you have 10 different campaigns. That may not be enough budget for Facebook to go through all of it. So it might spend like all the money on the first campaign, and then the other ones will not get as many impressions. So just because something is not getting impressions doesn't mean it's not performing. You have to look at other things like the cost per for 1,000 impressions or cost per purchase or like cost per customer. So that's the one thing to note, is that the fewer variables you have, the less money you need to like test them out. So that's why at the beginning I suggest, like, and here you want to start with a small budget, and then as it works, you can scale the budget to make sure you're not burning through cash.
Yeah. And
so it's good to, only do like one variable with one copy, for example, and then take it from there.
Perfect. Okay.
Okay. So now and there's the basic structure is that we have the campaign, the ad set, and the actual ad. And then each campaign can have several ad sets, and each ad set can have several ads. So it's just kind of like a pyramid structure. On the left side, on the pan, you can see that right now we're in the new sales ad set. So we're in the ad set level, the middle level. And in the ad set level, we focus on all the targeting. So this is where the focus on the audience is. And so the first thing that we get to decide is on a conversion type, and we are running it to a website. So the conversion is to the website. And that is because we should have the pixel up and running, but we can confirm that later as well. And so the performance goal is max the number of conversions, which is good. Lydia, can you click on the performance goal just so we can see the drop down, what else is there? Click on the other goals. Yeah. So we can also optimize for like landing page visits, number of clicks. Now, and this is kind of a budget decision. Sometimes at the beginning, it is better to optimize for like clicks on the ad or landing page views, because those are easier to get. I think Facebook's official recommendation is you need 50 conversion events before you can like confidently target.
Okay.
And so to get 50, if we're maximizing for purchases on the website through the pixel, like 50 conversions, quite a lot to get. And so it'll take a long time for the algorithm to like be trained.
Okay. So should we start then with maximize number of clicks?
I would recommend normally to start the campaigns and number of clicks at the beginning. Just make sure that like everything is running okay. We can see website visitors and all of that is like landing properly. And once we have that traffic, because the people who are clicking on the ads are very highly correlated with the people who are going to purchase.
Yes.
It's not like a one-to-one, but it's very, very close.
Yes. And there's a lot that can happen between them clicking on the ad and then maybe they get to our website and our website's fucking confusing. And so first we just want to see if the material that we are running is interesting. Yeah. Okay. That's kind of the first step. Okay. And that is also like, that's the way, one way you can debug it. So for example, if you're running the ads, you're getting really nice numbers and really good impressions, people are clicking, but they're not buying, then there might be a problem further down the funnel. Okay. Like with the purchase or the website. Good strategy. All right. So we're optimizing for maximum number of clicks. And also, even though we chose at the beginning, we made the decision to do like a sales campaign type, but even though we had a campaign type, we're still only optimizing the number of clicks, which would be more closely similar to if we chose like traffic campaign type. So just to notice that even though you choose the objective of the conversions at the beginning, you can still kind of mess around with it. It's very flexible. Okay. The next one that is there is cost per result goal, which is optional. I would leave that empty for right now. We could, so when you set it, basically, if you say you want, like you would $1, which in this case, the result number of, that would be link click would be $1, which would be too high for link click. But let's say if you put $1, then it's basically you're saying you're willing to pay up to $1 for a link click, and you're competing with all the other companies that are going for the same audience. And it's just it's an auction. So 15? But you can leave it empty, and then we'll so ideally what I'd recommend is leaving it empty and then set a low daily budget to just let the algorithm do its thing, and then you'll see what the cost per result is. Like we'll just get the results from there. Okay, so we'll leave that empty. Lydia, could you click on show more options there so we can really do the full breakdown? Okay, so just so people understand, we're getting charged for impressions, meaning when somebody sees the ad, that's when you get charged. And that's pretty standard, that's straightforward. If we optimize for sales, you could also get charged only per sale, but that is, much more difficult to do. And so the terminology that's used is you get cost per 1,000 impressions, because one impression will be super cheap. It's 0.000 something. The CPM, or cost per 1,000 impressions, is the variable that we'll be looking at to value the performance. Okay. All right, moving on. The next field is dynamic creative, but I'll turn that off for now. That's just making it, basically the algorithm is using AI to like mix and match all the different creatives. And there is like some power in it, but it also would make it more difficult for us to see the performance of all the individual ads and see which works.
So keep that off for now. Then moving on to the daily budget is how much money we're willing to spend per day. I think it's good. So in this type of case, I would start like super low, put like $5 or $10, just to make sure that the ads are running and we can see like the traffic is hitting the website. And once actually like things are going through, then bump it up like the next day and the next day and the next day. Of course, keep only increasing for actually making sales.
Okay.
Start dates, yes, immediately, all
How
of
often
that.
do you check this?
Yeah, so that depends on how much money you're spending. So if it's like $10 a day. So if I were running this for me and it's $10 a day, I would check it once a day.
Yeah.
When, for example, I was spending hundreds of thousands of months per month, like at scale, we're running like hundreds of campaigns, then you basically refresh every 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like your full day job. I describe this almost like day trading. It's like when you're actually like buying and selling shares, because the way it would work, like I would get to the office in the morning, I would churn on 100 campaigns with like 10 creatives in each campaign, all at the same time. I would churn them on, and then within like 2 hours, I would see like 90% of them are not working well. So churn all those off. And then you have like the last 10 campaigns. And then I would like tweak and optimize them, and then like find one winner by the end of the day, and then like double down. And then you do your best to get 8 hours of sleep when you have like $10,000 on one image.
Oh my God. It's like the other side of the like button is even more stressful. More over there.
Yeah, exactly. So it is like day trading. So it depends on how much money you're spending. But of course, if you're spending a lot of money, then you have somebody looking at it. But it is like a full-time job.
So we're starting.
The worst was the lunch break. Because like, you like tweak and everything, and then you go for lunch for half an hour, and you come back and like you've burned through $5,000. Anyways.
You think about time differently. Speaking of time, what time should we start this for? Eastern. What time is it there, Lydia?
You just leave that the way it is.
Okay.
It's just set up like by default. You can keep like no end date. That's fine. Just as long as you remember that you have ads running. I know companies who like turn it on, forget about it, and then just like spend $50 a day for 3 months, and they don't know about it.
Wow.
Yeah, just keep an eye. Cool. Now to the audience control. So this is when I think of like advertising priorities, I think of like a four-step formula. Like number one, the most important decision to make is which platform you advertise on. We already decided Facebook and Instagram, so that's already decided. Number two is the targeting. Number three is the ads and the creative. And number four is like the conversion optimization, like the final tweaks of like change the color of the button on the website to get the 0.5% improvement. So then targeting is like the second most important decision after ads. And the reason why I structure those in that way, because you could have the best targeting in the world and the best creatives and the most streamlined website. But if you're on the wrong channel where like your audience doesn't hang out, then it's pointless. And just as much, you could have the best ads in the world, but if you're not targeting the right people, you're not gonna find you. So that's why targeting is the second most important decision. So if you can click show more options under targeting, Lydia, please, that would be great. Is there a question?
Yeah, I have a question. Like, in your experience, have you done a lot of Pinterest ads?
Yeah, done a lot of all the ads.
All of them.
Yeah.
Because I have a hypothesis, and we're just starting to test hypothesis, that there's probably some crunchy moms on Pinterest and on TikTok that we need to be reaching. Yeah.
I mean, all platforms could be really good. So in general, I would see that on TikTok, so let's compare like Facebook to TikTok. On Facebook, you would have lower cost per click, a lot lower cost per impressions. It's much easier to get a lot of eyeballs, but then the cost per final purchase would be higher. That it's more difficult to find people to actually buy. Generally, the audience on TikTok will be much younger, and on average, they'll spend less money than the audience on Facebook and Instagram. It's not true, like it's not written in stone, but it is. Generally, that's what it looks like. And so it depends on what kind of objectives you have. But I do prefer, like, Facebook and Instagram tends to be the most powerful one and the one that I recommend to start with. And if that doesn't work out, then I would explore other ones as well. Pinterest, I think, is great, yeah, for moms, and it's very visual, and your product is beautiful. So you might want to test it out, but I would do it not all at the same time. There's also the problem with the traffic, the noise in the data, because if you're running several different campaigns and send them to the same websites, then it's hard to distinguish. And then you get to like very technically challenging territory of like revenue attribution to different campaigns, and it gets statistically messy.
And just really quick, going back to strategy, our goal was like, let's look at 90 days on the Meta platform and really drill down and see what type of visuals, what type of copy, and also like exactly the target variables of the demographic of our audience that we want to go after.
Yeah.
Is 90 days too long, or like, what's your strategy usually?
So the 90 days is definitely plenty of time. I mean, you should, it's in marketing, also like in life, in a lot of times, you either have time or you have money. And so if you have lots of money and you don't have time, then you can just spend like 1,000 a day and you'll get to the results very fast. You'll burn through a lot of cash, but you'll get to the results fast. If you don't have the money, you can be much more careful and take your time and take like a month. Like 90 days should be more than enough. I think like after, like a week or two, or like I'd say 2 to 4 weeks, like you should have a pretty good idea of how well it's working without like having to burn through some money. You will waste some money, quote unquote. Like you'll have to spend money to train the algorithm, and the ads are not optimized. So we're going to be targeting a lot of random people. And so we'll burn through some money. The idea being is that we want to like train the algorithm as fast as possible without burning through too much cash to be able to like target the right audience.
Yeah.
The trick is in knowing whether we just haven't targeted the right audience, or there just isn't like a product market fit, or like a channel product fit, for example. Yeah, like to think of it like channel product fit. So we're running ads on Facebook to your audience with your product. Like I've experienced where we would be running like ads to Facebook to our audience, and then we found product channel fit on TikTok, and then like the business exploded on TikTok, for example. So that's also possible. There's a famous marketing saying is that I know I'm wasting 50% of my budget, I just don't know which half it is. Which is kind of like, and that's a quote from like 100 years ago, and it still works today. So we need to, and if it's possible to start advertising not from scratch, but like to target an audience that you have predefined, that's good. So at the beginning, we want to be as specific as possible based on the hypothesis that we have.
Yeah.
And then once the algorithm is trained, the algorithm will be much better at picking users automatically than we are at like individually targeting the way we're going to do it now. And so eventually, once you spend enough money and the algorithm works, like once you have the 50 conversion events, then you would not do any targeting at all. Like you would kind of open everything wide open. I would just like set the country, but then leave everything open because the algorithm, when it has like freedom to move around, once it's trained, it's much more efficient than us trying to target it.
So just to reiterate, we want to be very specific with our initial hypothesis while we are training the algorithm. Okay. Because our hypothesis so far is that this is a premium product. Basically, if you're a mom that has heard from other moms about the struggle with breastfeeding, or maybe you've had IVF, and so a lot of time and consciousness and energy and resources you've already poured into creating life, typically that's going to be around, the 25 to even 40. Because if you're buying, I don't know if you want to bundle this into our first H1, but if you're a little bit older and you're still fertile, or if you're buying for a friend or a child that's having a baby, we wanted to include up to age 40 in there. And then I would say medium to higher level income households and larger metropolis cities like New York, San Francisco, LA, Tampa, Miami, Austin, Dallas, Houston.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we could, select all those specific locations. Yeah, so let's go into, you can put in specific states or cities.
Well, we know that California, Texas, and Florida are our highest concentration of NICU beds. And so would it be best to just do California, Texas, and Florida, or get really specific to the different cities in each?
I would go for the states and not go, if we can't, yeah, if it makes sense, then let's do the California, Texas, and Florida.
And then so we are US-based manufacturing, so we would have our manufacturer in upstate New York. And so we always like to include, just for shipping benefits.
CO2.
And so I see like different options for Florida. I mean, does
I think-
you spelled it
that's
Georgia.
Well,
Florida.
We're not targeting Florida.
Oh, okay.
So, and while people are watching on the right side, you can see the audience definition and estimated daily results. I would say this is largely inaccurate, so don't worry too much about it. From my experience, that tool on the right side has mostly been useless.
This is so exciting. I feel a lot of adrenaline right now because I'm like, these are hard-earned dollars that we're about to throw at these different locations.
Yeah, it's scary, right?
Yeah.
Want to do minimum 25. It doesn't look like we have a cutoff age here.
Yeah, not in this option, which is strange. But we can, I want to see if we can create a custom audience and then throw it into the custom audience, because right now you can exclude only. Click on the custom audience. Can you? Okay, so we have to create it separately, and then we might have to come back to this and include it. Yeah, so this is again using like allowing Facebook to use AI. But I want to click, yeah, let's do original.
Okay.
Can you click on switch to original audience options? And yeah, here we have the full.
Do we want to do 40 or do we want to do up to 50, Lauren?
Let's do up to 50 or do you want to go like tighter just for the purpose of this more specific H1?
I think this is good.
Okay.
Yeah, also, so it will start like displaying it to everyone in 25 to 50, but pretty quickly it'll see who is keeping eyeballs on the ads, who's clicking, and it'll start targeting them more specifically.
Okay.
So even though we have this, like Facebook might find that like it's the 31-year-olds to 35-year-olds that like do most of the activity, and it'll just target to them. So even though you select this, it's not guaranteed it's going to be displayed. It'll still use the algorithm to like find the best option.
Lydia, you're going to see me doing more squats and prescribing more Viagra. Darius calls it, just to run these, Darius calls it workaholics in the wild when I'm seeing patients out and about.
Exactly.
Well, again, a lot goes behind this. For gender, we have had a lot of men purchase the product, but the ads that we generated specifically are geared towards female testimonials. And so I think for the purpose of this ad set, I'd like to see just women only, but then it adds more for men as far as like this being a supportive product for their partner.
Yeah. So definitely, there is a big difference in the gender activity in like purchase decisions and activities online. So definitely keep it to one gender only. And this would be a great test. So then you could just create like a identical campaign, everything the same, targeted only to men, or do different ads for men, and then compare the results. This is like a great way for you to find out like who's the right buying audience as well. Yeah, we can go ahead and
around the same, because I mean, I always look through our purchase history and we have a lot of men that purchase our product, like a surprising amount. So we might even like men, we call them our milkmen. They might even be our bigger audience.
The milkmen might be the target audience. Yeah. That's totally fine. Yeah. So I think this would be like, in terms of testing like different demographic targeting, this would like be one of the highest priority tests. If I were running it, was like to do a gender split. I have found massive differences in the performance of the products for for different genders. And so now we're in the detailed targeting. And as you can see, we can target by different interests. Now, from my experience, the interest-based targeting is not great because this is where people have to like take action on Facebook.
They've
And
had to say that this is an interest of
Yeah.
theirs and tag it on their profile.
and nobody's listing
And
that.
we're going to exclude a lot of our potential users if they haven't taken that time. I've never listed my interest, I don't think.
Yeah, so that's interesting. But there is behaviors and demographics. So Lydia, if you click on browse on the right side and just click on behaviors. And then so we could maybe find something that's related to children. If you click, yeah, maybe try behaviors there.
Emitting
Open
a
that
lot
one.
of CO2.
Yeah.
I'm having trouble clicking on it. How do I get it to
Oh.
expand?
It doesn't expand.
Mm-mm.
Oh, that's interesting. That's limited.
Oh, this is behaviors under behaviors. So we have, sorry. Your viewers are getting a really
This is great.
This is all the
Yeah.
things that
This is
if
really
you're brand new.
But underneath this, we would want to do like parenting, probably purchase behavior.
I like the categories. It's like travel, soccer, or more categories. It doesn't give us a lot.
Yeah.
So try to type in like baby or child or something like that and see if we can
Pregnant.
pregnant.
Oh,
Get them early.
yeah, pregnant.
Before the baby's screaming.
Baby shower, children and
It's
parenting.
only interest. Okay.
Okay.
Type in child because I think it can detect when people have children.
And
Job title.
behavior.
No. Interest. Okay, it doesn't have any of this. Employers.
No.
It is employers, so we're not targeting that.
There's no behaviors coming
So-
up with child
Well,
Parents. With an
yeah.
Can you type in parents and let's see if we can get like a new parent?
group. With up to 12 months.
So we've clicked on this one before for a past ad. That's perfect.
So this is especially good because one of the few things people do on Facebook and Instagram, well, Facebook in this case, is still to like put in had a baby or got married. This is one of the like few activities people still do. So that's actually really good because you have the data. And it's using like AI to expand that, not just people who actually actively did it, but I'm sure it's using like image recognition to see when people start uploading pictures of babies and then it knows.
But nothing came up around pregnancy or conception or trimester. Let's try those words.
Pregnancy, mammals.
So, pregnant is an interest. Whoa.
I'm pregnant and television show.
Mom. I
Yeah.
don't see any.
In this case, it's I think better to keep it like this.
Okay.
I do want to, while we're here, I do want to explore because we can create an audience based on activities. So we can create an audience based on people who have visited your website, saw your Instagram, see any previous ads, which is
They're warm.
Yeah. And so that this like custom audience tends to be more powerful than this kind of like demographic selection.
Is that a lookalike audience? Is that what it's defined as, or is that different?
It's similar. So not necessarily, because you can retarget the same people who already visited or seen your video. That's like the exact same people. And then you can take this as the core audience and then create a lookalike audience, which is like a bigger chunk of people that are like them, but they're not them.
Okay, cool.
But how?
Yeah, so I'm trying to figure out what is the best timing of doing it, because we might do it now and come back to this. But yeah, let's because there'll be a different ad set. So that's the first test we can run, is like have this one that's predefined with all the demographic information, including the parenting up to 12 months, which I think is a really good find for this. And then we can do everything the same, identical. We'll just have a new ad set specifically for the custom audience.
Mhm.
So we'll do it after. Okay. So let's finish this one. In terms of placements, I would, so again, we're either using AI or if you click on manual placements, just so people know what we're doing here. And so you can select different ones. I have found success in all of these. It's usually like one or two that'll work the best, but I would just kind of keep it open. Yeah, just keep all of them, and then we'll see which one's getting the best results on Facebook. So we'll get the data, and then we can see which ones are clicking the most. But just so people know, like you can select all the placements in the feeds on Facebook and Instagram and stories and reels, and it will be based on which kind of ads you have available. But yeah, there's nothing that would exclude us from running all of them, basically.
And this is nice. You can see a preview of what it looks like, so you know if you have like the correct format.
Yeah, exactly. And so, for example, if we only have videos, then it will not run it on like picture placements. It'll like do it automatically. It doesn't hurt us to keep everything open. So I just wanted to show this to the people, but if we're keeping all of them open, you can go back and then click the automatic option, at the top. Yeah, here, the advantage placement.
Meta is really optimized for consumerism.
Yes. And I mean, if you make money, you will spend more money on ads. And so and you'll give Facebook more. The more money you make.
Yeah.
So like the incentives are aligned. Well, they just want to help you make money because then they will make money. Okay, so that's all for the placements. We can move on to the next one. What do we have there? That's it. Okay, so moving on to the next. So we finished the ad set level, which is all the targeting, and now we have the actual ad level. So we're going to create all of the different ads. And from the top, we just have the name. So can you change the name to number 1? I do like to number them so it's easier to see. Or just type in the number 1.
Oh,
sorry, just a digit. Yeah.
Day ones. And Lydia, you did such an amazing job in Canva. Like this woman has so many talents that were not on her resume. Creating these.
Yeah, this is beautiful.
Yeah.
And the voice in the hands of the natural nipple.
The voice and the hands and the creative.
See her face.
So Lauren, I used to be a hand model, and she was like, "Really?"
She just had all of the skills, and she had this brand new Nikon, and so we did an on-site, and she just did everything necessary to create.
Oh, it's a Leica. It's a Leica Q2. It's nice.
Oh yeah.
The Swiss Army knife of a co-founder.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so let's look at what we have here is, yeah, so we need to, every ad has to be associated with a Facebook page. So if you don't have one, you have to create one. But here we already have selected the natural nipple. Facebook page is what is associated. And then Instagram account, there you have to use an Instagram account. Click on that. Yes. So again, if you don't have one, you have to create one, but we got it all covered. Okay, scrolling down, we have the ad setup. So we're gonna manually upload. We're not gonna use the catalog option. And here we can either do single image or video, carousel or collection. Both carousel and collection could work, but they're a bit more advanced. At the beginning, I like to keep it all super simple and just click on single video. And I believe we have videos ready to upload. And so we're going to test those. Okay. So you can scroll down and
also very beautifully edited by our Swiss Army knife.
By our Swiss Army knife, ready to go. Okay. So here, yeah, you can click on add media and we'll add the first video from wherever you have it.
So let's go through these.
Okay, so I'm testing out this baby bottle with a baby.
Oh, sorry guys.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm testing out this baby bottle with a baby. And he literally is obsessed with it. He hasn't spilled a single drop. Look at he's holding it.
So this is a fantastic ad because it doesn't look like an ad, number one. It's very natural. And I always suggest people to record this type of content for advertising because you want it to look like a message you're sending to your friend, which is what it looks like. And you do have the nice polish ad call to action thing at the end, which is I find that to be very useful to have like the last 2-3 seconds of like an actual ad. The only thing that I would say on this one, and I don't know for sure, but Facebook is using computer vision to see what's in the ad. There is a TikTok logo bumping around. They might kind of penalize this a little bit for doing that. I can't say for sure, and I don't have like empirical evidence to prove this.
Okay.
But I have seen like some shadow banning thing.
Okay.
But we should still use it and upload it.
We
like,
really
we should.
But if you have enough time, because I think also from your experience running different types of ads, it might be worthwhile to check out a couple of the others. So we have Lena's, which I think, oh, let's look at this. You recorded this.
The natural nipple has made the transition between breast and bottle seamless, with the first infant feeding system clinically developed to mimic mom's maternal shape, feel, and milk flow. Take the latch match quiz to be paired with a personalized bottle designed to reduce latching time and avoid nipple confusion.
Wow, your voice is very soothing.
So soothing.
Wow.
Oh my God, my face.
I just want to watch ads to hear you.
But that's more, where, and I think probably a lot of viewers are maybe at the same point that we're at. We have kind of a limited inventory of testimonials. Something that Laura and I talked about before the call is going back through those that have really loved the product and get a cleaner, face-to-face, or have them resubmit something, like you said, that really feels natural. So getting creative with these is the challenge to make it look like you have more than you have in the beginning.
Yeah, and so I think one of the biggest lessons I've learned in this type of advertising is that you can never predict what's going to work. Like you just can't say, you can't I've seen thousands of ads and maybe like 1% of them would work well. And there doesn't seem to be a pattern to what tends to work. Like I've seen everything kind of work. And there are big differences between the audiences and the product. And so I think the biggest lesson is it's about volume. It's about quantity, not quality. And some of the worst ads I've received are the ones that work the best. Like I've had this one
Raw
ad.
and real.
Yeah, I had this one ad where this woman had a baby crying in the background. She used a weird orange sepia filter. I couldn't properly see her. She didn't hit any of the talking points. And that was just by far the best ad for some reason for an app, right? Not even breastfeeding would make sense if your baby crying in the background at least, but this was not even related.
Yeah.
And so you can never tell what's going to work. So it's much more about quantity. So if I were you, I wouldn't worry. I would just throw everything we have at it and then see what gets the best result and then go from there. You can find you can find patterns within products on a general kind of style that might work for a while, but you can't decide to create a winning ad.
So question for this first campaign, you were saying volume wins, but how many can we upload? Is there a cap?
I think they changed it recently, so I don't know, but we can upload what you have.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
we've 8, right?
Yeah. And I think that's really helpful to hear, that it doesn't always have to be aesthetic. I think that's where, for me, as a type of consumer I am, I look through how my buying style versus others. And so I'm naturally biased to a really clean, almost a Celine type look versus something that's the more of just a direct testimonial. So yeah, I think it's great to kind of throw out both and see what people like. Here's another one that's a really short clip from one of our beta testers.
You guys match flow on a smaller range. I absolutely love that because I could tell this flow for her really matches what she's used to.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean,
that's
like
our
I said,
shortest. Yeah, very, very short.
Like I said, we can't predict what's going to work. You could have, and I've tried this, right? I would spend thousands on a beautiful videographer and designer and editors and it didn't work at all. Compared to just a random person with a selfie camera talking for 10 seconds.
That's how Darius and I met. And I guess I must have been some bad content because of Very informal.
It yeah, so yeah, some of the ads worked and can't predict it.
Yeah.
And even, for example, like I would find like one ad would work really well from one woman, and then I would hire her to do 10 more ads, and none of those 10 would work. It was just that one. And so it's not even like there's this like magical person that will open up the doors. It's like it's just real magic. I don't understand it. But if it is
Well, that's
anything I've learned, is that you can't predict what will kind of go viral.
Well, and it's funny because, you know, especially what we're learning with our product type is it's very much referral based, and moms get almost, you know, it goes both ways. I see products that do really well that are very aesthetic, and our bottle is very aesthetic, but we don't want the aesthetic to take away from the fact that this is a very functional and clinically developed product. And moms almost want to see a real experience of a mom with messy hair, 3 a.m., you know, in the dark feeding. And so we do have those videos from some of our affiliates, and we can definitely circulate those in with some voiceovers.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think, yeah, it's really just quantity. I just throw everything at it, and then you'll see what resonates.
Now, I do have a question on length, and something that you had recommended was the sub captions. So for all videos, do you think it's good to do like an A/B test of captions and no captions? Do you think that there's a time limit, like it needs to be 15 seconds or less? Or is this again part of the magic? We just don't know.
It does help like when it's not too long. Yeah. So like 15 seconds ish is pretty good. I know it's really hard to like get a point across in 15 seconds. But yeah, I would say like around there. Like you don't want to be 5 seconds because it's too short, and you don't want to be a minute because people don't have the attention span for that. And so I find that like 15, like I don't know, 10 to 20 seconds in general would be pretty good. And in terms of captions, yeah, I just find that captions do work better. So it's something you could test out, but I would be like, that'd be a low priority test. Like I would much rather test like gender, for example, or different creatives.
One last question in terms of strategy with this batch one. These are user generated, but I have some basically clinical founder background. Do we want to throw them in or make that batch 2?
I would try that. Yeah. I would just throw it in and see, like maybe we could do like 10 ads. You have 8 of the user generated, and then throw in 2 more of the clinical, and we'll have 10 ads in this ad set. It's really good. And then we'll duplicate the exact same ads, and we'll just adjust the targeting for the custom audience, which we're going to do in a moment.
Okay, perfect. So just for the purpose of this, I only have these set up as reels, and so we can always go back and format later for feed. But let me go ahead, and Brooklyn's been such a big supporter of ours. She's going to be our first ad here.
We'll make her famous.
We'll make her famous. She's ready. It's her time. Oh, okay.
Brooklyn's an amazing infant sleep trainer. So when she sees this problem, not just with her child, but many other children, she's definitely a woman on fire.
Yeah, amazing. We'll give you a sec to upload the videos. I'm just gonna grab some water, and we can edit out
And
this.
for formatting, I noticed that there's different types of file types. Is there a certain file type that works best, that's most compatible?
No, I think like file types, just like the usual MP4, whatever works fine.
Because I get this a lot. I get this little.
Yeah, it just says that we're not gonna hit all of the format, which is fine.
Gotcha. Okay.
Something
Great.
to know, like Facebook is an incredibly bad. No, it's I mean it's a good platform, but it can be really shitty, and so you might get like random errors that I've seen in like weird languages that are not related at all. They'll just pop up, and then you can still like publish the ads even with the errors, and it still works fine. But something to keep in mind that it is a very buggy platform. Yeah.
Okay. And another question is, this is audio only. I see, I've been looking at a lot of our competitors just to see if they're using, captions, music, like what's resonating with their audience, what people are responding to. Do you think music is needed to get more traction, or do you think it's more of a distraction?
I don't think it's Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. It's something I would like experiment with. Again, pretty low priority test. In general, from what I found is that music at the beginning is distracting, but at the end, when you have that splash screen of the product, it's nice to have a little jingle. I
I was
find
thinking
that,
a little like ding or something that's like a more of an audio insert versus an overall music. So like when the pop-up comes up of the product, we could have like a chime or like a checkbox or something to make it sound like, yep, check.
yeah, I mean, something you could try. Again, no
Okay.
idea. It's my answer to most of your questions will be you have to try it.
That's helpful because this is what I get analysis paralysis. Like I will spend so much time trying to think this through. And what you're giving me today is like, listen, you can think about it all you want, but until you put it out there, you're just not going to know.
Yeah, and the biggest then question is like you have finite time and money to test. So what are the important things, low-hanging fruits to test, as opposed to does a jingle versus music versus silence in the last 3 seconds matter?
Yeah.
Like that's something you can like, when that's like way further down the funnel.
My H1 is like our first 3 seconds of anything we throw out in this campaign needs to be like, what are we solving? Like, what is going to capture your attention? Because people's attention is the most valuable commodity. So, yeah, that's why I really like Jolene's, because it has the baby in there. It's like, okay, I can relate to this experience. There's baby feeding. What's going on?
Love it. And I think with each of these, because we have so many benefits to our product, as opposed to trying to capture them all in one ad, this one's just about flow. Hers is just about latching. Lena's is just about breast to bottle. Like we're really keeping kind of specific for each of those to see what people resonate with the most as far as messaging.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Do we hit next?
Yeah. Next. Upload this. I just click on done. It's just, yeah, it's fine. Yeah, so while this is gonna upload, and so here we have a couple of different options that we can try. We have a primary text headline and the description. And so this is good to put in like the 1, 2, 3, like one word, few words or phrases that might resonate with the audience.
Screaming baby or solution for screaming baby.
So this will be visible in the ad. So when you type something, you'll see it on the right side. It's going to adjust the ad.
Get more sleep. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it could be just that, whatever you want.
Yeah,
This is optional.
Okay.
And yeah, the headline is pulling directly from the website, I guess. I don't know where that's coming from. The seamless and stress-free breast and bottle feeding.
I believe so, because that's been on our ads consistently.
Okay, so you can change that. If you type in the headline, it'll change that text. So you can either keep it or change it. It's up to you.
I think
I have found that the headline and the other text, the primary text, have some effect, but it's not like massive. But it could help if you have like the right words, the right copy. But it's not like super essential. And also, it's only visible in this feed ad. It's not visible in the other placements as much.
nice.
That
Looks
one we
good.
won.
She's
In regards to description, where is description seen? And because I've seen some ads that have no description, some that have a lengthy description, is this necessary? Can it just be left blank? What are your
It can
thoughts?
be left blank. Yeah. You can leave it blank, and then I would experiment with later on. This is more like once you find, like, let's say we're running 10 ads right now, and picture that one of them is going to work really well. Then I would create 10 copies of this one ad, or I would just experiment with different primary text headlines, different descriptions, like double down on that one. But our goal now is to like find the right video. And so all of this stuff is kind of, it's nice to have, but not essential. And on the call to action, we have right now Learn More. There's other calls to action. I find that Learn More is the best one. Shop Now is a bit like too
In your face.
intimidating. It's a bit like, I'm not ready to buy anything. The Learn More is a good start.
Great. And
Okay.
then
And we want to bring them directly to the checkout page versus,
well, so this specifically, so we have different products, and the one that really is our novel product is our Latch Match starter kit. And this is where we personalize the experience. They take a quiz online. And this is also where we can really lead capture, because when they go into that Latch Match quiz, they put in their email. So even if they don't purchase, we've then captured that lead for future drip campaigns. So what I've looked at for ads in the past is either taking them directly to the Latch Match or take them to the actual Typeform quiz, where they don't even go to our website. They go right into the quiz and they get a welcome video from Lauren. And so that's really what I'd want to test, is where we get the most activity. But my question with that is, if since our pixel is set up with our website, if we take them directly to the Typeform, which is hosted on Typeform, will we miss those analytics of how this ad's working for us?
we also do miss the opportunity to find out if baby shower bundle is more popular, because we've given them kind of an opt-out if they don't want something paired to their unique breast geometry and they just want to buy for a friend.
Yeah,
So
so that's
to answer Lydia's question, if you run them to the Typeform, you do lose the analytics, because we're not triggering the events with the code that we put in the website. You could also put in the pixel into a Typeform. I think you could do that, a separate pixel. But yeah, for it's all kind of question of like, what do we want to test? Ideally, we would just have all of this running to one destination, and like we're testing which ad works the best. And then like another test would be, okay, let's take this one ad and send them to the website, a Typeform in another place.
Okay, so should we just do the main landing page, because what we're optimizing for is just per click right now?
Yeah, right now it's per click, it's discovery. So it's either like the landing page and they can take it from there, or we could do specifically the one product. Yeah, I think both of these are kind of judgment calls.
How about Lydia, just to give us a little bit more data with this first campaign, we do it directly to the Latch Match product. With the next, we can do it to the baby shower bundle, and then we can zoom out and see if just once we have a little bit. Okay.
Too. Yeah, oh, sorry to cut you off, but yeah, with the audience, this one is specifically for parents, birth to 12 months, women. So this, for me, this particular audience would probably be the best fit to go directly to this link. And it gives you this nice welcome video, from you.
So something you could experiment as well is like running ads of you, at least to a landing page where your video is, like that kind of conversion might make sense.
I'll go ahead and upload those after we're done with the tutorial, so we run them all at the same time, have more data.
Yeah. Cool. So we'll go website, all of that is good. Browser add-ons, no, we don't need any of that. Languages, we're targeting the US, so I guess you can just leave that open. Oh yeah, we don't need translations or any of that. Tracking, yes. So click on website events. It looks like the pixel. Yeah, the pixel is not active. We can. So we can debug. Yeah, okay. So actually for this, we can turn it out because we're only optimizing for clicks on the ad anyways. But afterwards, we can take a look at your pixel and figure out what's happening there. So, yeah, it would be good, even with just this, it'd still be good to have an active pixel, because then a purchase should be triggered. And so Facebook knows like who's purchasing, and then we can optimize for that. Okay, the rest, yeah, we don't need to worry about all this stuff.
So let's not actually publish until we've solved the pixel problem. But would theoretically the next step would be clicking publish?
Yeah, so actually we can publish it, and then because it'll take Facebook some time to approve
Okay.
as well. I would publish it.
All right, so we'll do all of this offline, but this would be the next step.
Yeah, so you put in the ad. Okay, then we don't have to publish it, and I'll edit this bit out anyways. So close this window on the left side there with the X, so we can take a look at. Yeah, we don't want to publish it. Just close. It'll be there as a draft. Yeah, so on the top right, you can click preview and publish, and it'll publish. But right now, I just want to show you something. So we are on the left side, you can see the campaign level, ad set level, and on the right side is the ads level. So we're in the ads level right now, and we have this one ad. So what you want to do is we want to duplicate this one ad, so you can upload all the other videos as well. So yeah, go ahead, click on duplicate. And how many videos you have in total? Is it 10?
I'll do 15. I can pull a couple more tonight and get him in there.
Okay.
14 is the max.
14 copies. We have one.
Yeah, if we're doing 15.
So we leave that as the original campaign. Click duplicate. And now we have all of the duplicates, and you'll just go into, actually close this window again, so we can go back to the previous view, because Facebook is, yeah. And so now you can see we have 15 ads here. And if you go on edit one of them, just select, yeah, that one. And you would change this one ad name to number 2, for example, and you would scroll down and you would upload a new video, and you just go one by one like this and upload all the content through them. Yeah, a bit lower. If you scroll down even lower, you have so you would delete this media and you would upload a new one.
Okay, perfect.
So this is the process for getting all of your creatives there. And then once you have them and you add the payment method, you click on publish. Okay, now close this window again. And can you go into the ad set level, the middle level that we have there, right? So this is the one ad set that we have with the demographic targeting. After you upload all of the ads, we would duplicate the ad set and then change the targeting of the ad set. We don't want to do it now, because then you would have to upload all the new ads again into the new ad set. Yeah, so just that'll be the next step, is you upload all your 15 ads, then we would duplicate, and then we would have the custom audience. So I want to see if we can do that now, just to show everyone. And I know we also have to wrap up in 5 minutes here. Mm-hmm. So don't duplicate it now. You can close this. But I do want to go to the left side, the left menu with all of the tools, and click on audiences. Click on audiences. And so this is where a lot of the magic happens, where we can do really cool targeting audience. So the pixel is not installed, that's why we don't have that. But click on create audience and custom audience. So first you do a custom audience, and then from there you can create a lookalike audience. And so as you can see, here's a lot of sources for the custom audience. So if we had a website pixel, then you could do the website. You could upload an email list. So if you have a list of customers, you could just create a custom list, and you can upload all the people and then like target them, or create a lookalike audience of them, which is really powerful.
Yes.
And then also on the meta. So for example, Instagram account, you have an active account, right?
Yeah.
So click on Instagram account. I think that's a good example to start with. And it's loading. And so change the source into the natural nipple. And then you can see the event is everyone engaged with the professional account in the last year. So everybody who's had some sort of engagement, which I think is really good.
Yeah.
So you can just type in audience name, like engaged in 365 days. So we know what it's called. Perfect. Create audience. And now it'll usually takes a couple of minutes or a couple of hours. Just click on done. Yeah, so it'll take maybe a few hours to populate this audience. You can close the audience on the right side with the X. And now we see the full view of all the audiences. You can see it says populating. And so once it is populated, which will take a few hours, you can use this. So we can run ads to everyone who has visited your Instagram account, which my hypothesis would be that they are going to convert better than the demographic targeting that we created.
What about as well if we added in, and my question is more around strategy, like simultaneously, do we do this on the first campaign? We can pull from Shopify all of the emails of customers and then create the lookalike audience, or would that be?
Yes. So depending on how many customers you have, I think the official recommendation, I don't remember now. There's like official recommendation where Facebook needs, I don't know what it is. I'm going to say a number. They need at least 100 emails to create an audience. You can't like target one person. But yeah, that'll be a really good step. So you would just do this, take the same steps and then create the, upload the list. I think, and like your customers are the best source. So if you already have, you should start with that.
Okay.
And I'm just going to show you real quick to do a lookalike. So if you click on the engaged audience, or yeah, you can, create audience. That's good. Lookalike audience, and select an existing audience. And we should have, you can just type in other sources. Yeah, engage 365 days. Yeah, I want to use the source that we just, there you go. Audience location. So you could put California, Texas, and Florida. So we have the same targeting. This is not working. Okay, then actually you can keep this open. Yeah, you can leave this or just do the, because we'll have the targeting in the ads anyways, and that's fine. Perfect. Yeah, click away. Yeah. And then the audience size. So this is like how close of a match do you want? 1% to 10%, like how closely targeted. There's no like right or wrong answer. This is just experimentation. I've tried everything. In this case, I would open it up to 10% because it's not like huge data set. And so it doesn't have to be like super, super similar. So I just, do this, create an audience. And so this is all the people who look like the people that have visited your website, your Instagram. And so it's a bigger chunk of the population than just people who visited your Instagram. And so now when you upload the 10 ads and then you duplicate the ad set, I would remove all the demographic targeting, including the age, remove everything, just have maybe the locations, the states. And then I would use one of these audiences, or you could do, one of these two. And that's a really good first test.
Exciting.
Well, that's
Darius,
it.
you're such a good teacher. This was really fun for me.
This was interesting for me as well to do a live workshop. Thank you very much. I'm excited to see the results.
Yeah, me too. We'll be back next week.
All right. Peace.
Bye.
Right on the minute.